Normal speed. Almost messed that one up. Are you ready?
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. And here we go, guys. This is the first match of day number 2 of this week's ECS. On the left-hand side, we do have Glorious Gaming with, it looks like, ZPS on Arthas, Supra on Zeratul, Soma on Uther, Syracuse on Vala, and on Falstead we have Cthulhu. And on the right side of the map we have Team dISSENT with Dunk Train on Diablo, Furious D on Tassadar, March on Barbarian, Jexia on Brightwing, and Oxygen on Tychus.
That's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen March on Barbarian before. He tends to have a pretty limited hero pool. He plays a few heroes, and Barbarian is not one of them. I wonder if this was just like they really wanted her in the draft and it didn't fit otherwise, or if it's something he's been practicing and we just haven't seen.
Actually, I've been doing a bit, the week before these were played, I did a little bit of scrimming with dISSENT, and he was playing a good bit of Barbarian, trying to learn it out. So you did have to practice going into it. I don't know, how many games overall, but he was a bit prepared for it.
She does take quite a bit of getting used to. You have to have really good instincts about when to go in, because once you go in, you're pretty much in. There's no way out with her. So you just can't YOLO.
It's very flip-or-flop on her. Like, sometimes you'll see someone just destroy on Barbarian, then some games it's like, wow, you're a paperweight, get out of here. It can be very one-sided. Now, we are on Haunted Mines. As you can see, this is not your traditional 3-lane map. It is only 2 lanes. After a few minutes, the mines will become open up. You'll go down, you'll collect skulls, and then once all the skulls have been collected, these giant golems will spawn and push lanes for the enemy, or for both teams. So, the more skulls you have, the more powerful it is.
dISSENT's playing really, really weird right now. They're stacking 4 people in the bottom lane, but they're pushing the lane. So that means they don't have any giant control top, which we see Glorious just taking advantage of right away, getting that camp pretty much for free. And since they're pushing the wave in, Cawthon's getting full experience bottom, anyway, for free. They're really gaining nothing, and they're giving up control of the only objectives early game. I'm really curious why they're doing that.
Yeah, it's a very good point. As we can see, the golems or the siege giants were taken so early here. In Heroes of the Storm, for those of you who are new to the game, when you take mercenary camps, the team that captures them, they fight for your team and they push the wave here. And siege giants, as we can see here, they might end up getting a second group here. Oh, they're going to back away from that.
They probably could. dISSENT is still just kind of hanging around bottom lane, pushing the wave in. They are moving up now. They are going to take the back giants, so that's good at least. But that was really, really well played from them early on.
Yeah, it looks like they are starting to adjust, though. They do use Bribe to take one of those giants, and it is beginning to push out now. Furious trying to defend against these giants as well as he can top lane. It's just one task, right? He's about to clean it up, though. A lot of damage done to one of these towers early on, and like you said, due to that fact that they weren't split in the proper lanes. And now we have 4 again bottom lane. They're just giving up map control, and we're seeing them take another siege camp here for Glorious.
Yeah, that was a weird little interaction. dISSENT thought about starting up those giants, and Cawthon immediately flew top to try and contest it. So when they backed off, then they just had 5 people there to take the giants for free. Nothing Furious could really do about it. Fortunately for them, they do have a wave pushing in. So Glorious is missing out on a little experience in exchange. But it looks like they might get caught here.
Yep. Oxygen is getting dived on by Supra. He will get away, though. Nice knockback by Dunk Train, pushing Supra into the tower. He gets very low. He does blink out. Looks like everyone else is going to walk away with only a little bit of damage done to them. Got a little bit close there for 2 members, though. Supra getting really low.
Yeah, but Glorious is going full CP. They have 5 people roaming at 3 minutes into the game. That's how they really like to play. They love to team fight early on, put a lot of pressure on the opposing team. So they're very comfortable with that, and it's up to dISSENT to kind of react to it. Because if you play perfectly, it's obviously better to be spread up and getting experience, but just a few kills can justify it. And it looks like dISSENT's actually going into the mines pretty hard with 3 people. And that's not a bad choice with Brightwing, because she can always get down there right away. It's just a matter of whether they can get to the Tassadar there. And also kind of how Glorious responds. If they're going to try and take the Knights and counter push, because they got some giants going in small map. Or if they're going to go down and actually contest the mines.
Now this could work out for dISSENT in this, because they do have a person in each lane. They've been doing that the entire game, so they really haven't been missing too much experience. And they're also getting experience from inside the mine, so as long as they don't give up any kills. I mean, we do see that levelly right now, but Soma is here on top of Dunk Train. The team is collapsing on him. There's only 3 people bought, and it looks like they're all 5 of Team Glorious in the mines right now. And Dunk Train looks like he is going to go down. Pretty easy kill for them. Ooh, he does dash away. Wow, Dunk lives through this. There's no way. Yeah, Super got it.
Yeah, he's going to die for sure. That was a nice thing to try and get out of there. Quick thinking by him. But yeah, that was the problem there. dISSENT really just, they couldn't get all 5 heroes to the mines quick enough because Tassadar is staying in the top lane. If you have both a Brightwing and a Falstead or something, you can get away with that because they can both get there immediately. But Glorious just staying grouped up and responding much more quickly than Dissent can deal with. However, Dissent, how many mines did they actually get? They still won it. They got 58 souls for 32, so that's a bit of a win for them. They only traded 1 kill for that. It's not the end of the world. They are still up, so they have a level. So
yeah.
It's pretty okay for them.
Yeah, and they also just got
Glorious
knights.
got better.
Dissent does take knights as well, which is another just nice win for them. They do have that level lead despite giving up the 1 early kill, the first blood. You know, it just goes to show, you know, with the global experience that, yeah, you could get behind on kills against these super aggro styles, but as long as you're, you know, managing your experience well, you're making sure people are in lanes, you know, those early kills might not matter.
Yeah, early hero kills are only worth as much as you can take, like, as a result of them, because the hero's up essentially immediately, and it's very little experience relative to lane or objective experience. So unless you're capitalizing on the enemy team being down a person, you're not really getting all that much out of them.
So it does look like all of Glorious is going to be pushing top lane with their Giant. They're going to catch Monster out here. Decent body block there from Soma. Nice start to slow from ZPS, and March should go down here. Now, Tassadar is bot lane. He is pushing with his Golem. It is now a 5 versus 3 top lane. I don't know if Dissent's going to be able to save this fort.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy. Tassadar, he pushes well, which is, I think, why they have him down there, but he also anti-pushes well. He was way, which they really need here. And don't get it cut out again. They can't afford to keep losing people one by one like this. You have to really know, like, a concerted defense when doing something like this. People just keep being picked off. You'll never be able to actually break the back of the push.
Mule goes down from Jexy, but not going to be enough to save this fort. They're just doing too much damage with the Grab Bone here. There are 3 people here now. March is alive, but not enough. The fort does go down. Levels 9 to 9. Furious actually takes the bottom fort, though. Now, Idra, with both teams taking a fort, there are the 3 kills for Glorious, but how behind do you think Dissent is right now?
I mean, they're not really behind at all. It's 9 to 9 level-wise. They both got the fort, and
Dissent hit 10 first.
Yeah, Dissent hit hidden first, and they also actually still have their Golem pushing, which means that Glorious is going to have to pull back. That's not going to cost them too much, because there's not too much out on the map. Like, they took all of the camps before going back to the den. Smart by them. So Dissent probably can't capitalize on this, but they're certainly in at least an even position, if not slightly ahead right now. And they kind of scale better in the late game. They have a good team fight between Diablo and Barbarian, and of course they have really, really good damage output from the Tychus and the Tassadar, and once Tassadar gets to level 20, it becomes pretty absurd. Honestly, I would say Dissent probably scales better, so it's not very good for Glorious to be on the back foot here.
Okay, we might have an engagement here at the Watchtower. ZP is going in. Slam from Dunk Train pushes them back into the lineup. Polymorph does go down. Oxygen and Archon are both pop. Zeratul uses his heroic. It does not delay they're not cooking time though. It just slows them down. But they were able to disengage, and that's 2 high priority heroics, the Odin and the Archon, that are not really being used right now.
Yeah, that's almost the entirety of their damage output in team fights is the Odin and the Archon, depending on how he's actually building the Tychus. And yeah, he is building the Tychus. Like, he's not going to have any auto-attack damage to the Tychus once he's purely on the Odin. So without that, they kind of can't really fight, and looks like they are going to get away here. That was a really smart APOC fight, Dunk. It looks like he kind of wasted it, but it zoned them out of the fight. So as long as they actually run away now, it's kind of worth it, because they would get destroyed in the team fight right now with Odin and Archon down.
Well, the team fight is happening. Dunk is getting fairly low. There's a stray from Ball, and no one is interrupting it. Volstad ult does secure the kill. It looks like the other 4 members of Dissent should be able to get away. Another kill going to Glorious. Still currently 4 kills to 0.
Yeah, that was kind of sloppy by Dissent. The APOC bought them time to get out, and then they kind of milled around. They were like, is someone going to get caught? Do we have to defend them? And no one, like, if they actually just beelined out of there, no one would have died at all, and it would have been pretty good for them. Unfortunately, a bit of a mistake there. Diablo didn't have souls, though, so he didn't lose that. He was down for 20 seconds, but not much. Oh, wow, super almost dying soul in March then.
Yeah, that was very close there. His teammate did show up time to steal him, though, and I think his blink would have got him away either way, but yeah, close kill there. Do you notice any, I mean, I can't bring up the talent choice right now. Anything different on the heroics end? Do we see anything absurd? I think we've seen almost all of them now, but everything looked normal.
No, everything completely normal as far as I can tell. They do have... Yeah, nothing really. Oh,
ZP got caught. Here comes Supra and Syracuse, and all of them coming out of the mine. So now it's suddenly a 4v3 where it looked like it was going to be a 3v1. Dunk Train's very low. Jexy does try to get the blink kill up, but Dunk does end up falling. That's 6 kills now to the 0 of Dissent. We still have Oxygen clearing the mine, or not Oxygen, Cthulhu Luck clearing the mines on Falstad, getting as many skulls as possible. Level experience lead right now is 12 to 11, and 13... How do you feel about level 13 talents right now? I know 16, 10, and 20 are really the more important ones, but how big of a difference does level 13 make right now?
It kind of depends on the hero. That's the rewind tier, which is gigantic on some like Brightwing. You can get double polymorph. On Falstead, rewind is pretty big. That almost doubles some of his burst potential. I forget who else. You get the slowing beam on Tassadar. A few other big things. So
Shrink Ray can be that tier too. Shrink Ray is that tier, right?
Yeah, Shrink Ray. It's a really big tier for supports in general. And in this game, you got basically it's Diablo tanky wise. So Giant Killer, if Vala gets it, is a little bit. She did indeed get it. So that's a decent amount of DPS output for her against Diablo, but not too big otherwise. It's mostly big on the supports for Rewind and Shrink Ray.
Looks like Glorious will not be scouted here. All of them do end up getting out of the mines. And can you go ahead and check what the skull score is?
It's 75 to 4 right now for Glorious, so they'll have a 75 to 25, and that should guarantee a keep at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's very, very hard to defend unless they completely botch the team fight before it. Like what Dissent needs to be looking to do is engage out, like either fighting for these camps or out in the middle of the lane, just not anywhere near the golem. They need to win a team fight and then go clear it up. If they just sit behind their keep and try to defend, they lose the keep for sure, and they might even lose the game off that.
This is actually going to be a really big push from Glorious. They have both Siege Giant camps. They've got their Golem spawning top lane. And there's going to be a team fight here. All teams are in position here. Dunk Train goes on Supra, but here comes ZP from behind. Oxygen trying to cat back ZPS. No heroics have been blown just yet. Kind of just dancing around each other. Dissent really wants to disengage, get behind their tower, because they do not want to fight on top of 4 Siege Giants as well as the Golem. Ooh, Dunk Train does get caught, though. Funluck gets a nice little bit of burst there. March dives in. Don't know if that's what his team wanted. Storm goes down on a lot of Glorious's members, but they seem to be fine. And this is going to be a tough hold for Dissent.
Yeah, without Leap, I don't think they can fight until they have Leap. Leap into APOC is like the entirety of the team fight. That's how they get the Odin and the Archon to actually stand there and shoot. Without that, I don't think they can. The keep's going to go down for sure. It's more a matter of whether they're going to be able to stay in the game at this point.
Not very many heroics have been blown just yet. I don't think that Glorious is going to want to engage too hard here. They're kind of playing it safe. They just want to secure this fort. When you lose the inner keeps... Well, actually, there goes Archon being popped. Just to clear up the Siege Giants, it looks like. Really wants to just try... They're trying their hardest to save this keep, and they might actually do it. They popped Odin and Archon for it, but they're going to save the fort.
They do have a mule, so they can get it back up to full. They actually managed to do it. I'm surprised that Glorious backed off there. Like, yeah, they popped Odin and Archon. And I guess it's the same talent level, so they don't have a huge impact in the team fight, but just fighting around the Golem, like, it's going to root some people. It's going to do a smash thing that could just win you the game. Like, it's a real waste to back off there. I think they respected the ults of Dissent too much. Yeah, they're still in good shape, of course.
Yeah, they still have a level lead right now. But if Mule, depending on how much Mule can heal up on this fort, I mean, they might just be on even footing map control-wise.
I think they can just poke it down here with the Zeratul bombs and the Falsehood bursts and stuff. They don't even have to really commit anything. They got knights in front of them. Plus, Dissent can't really afford to team fight while they're all put down.
Yeah, they know that.
They are, so, yeah, they're going to still just finish the keep for free. Actually, it looks like they want to engage.
There goes a heroic from Uther on Furious D. Will he be able to get away? Blink Kill has got a nice Apocalypse stunning, forcing out a lot of the members of the fight. Zeratul bomb is controlling 3 members right now. March is going to fall in that. It's currently 5 versus 4. Dunk Train getting caught as well. There goes the Falstad heroic. Will it be enough to secure Dunk Train? He's trying to live. He does end up going down. He does have the souls though, so he will be back. ZPS is going to have to back up. I don't think they can do any more here, but they secured 2 kills and they got level 16 out of it.
Yeah, that could have been a really good opportunity for Dissent there. They didn't quite line up the APOC and the Leap just right. If they had, they were still in Void Prison, but I don't think their DPS was. I think Vala or Tychus and Archon were both outside of it. So if they had lined up the Leap and APOC properly, they could have actually gotten a lot of kills, if not wiped there. But yeah, it turns out pretty okay for Glorious. They have a 2-level lead now, big talent lead, and the mine should be opening up any time, so they're just going to clear the middle of the map. They have every Merc camp right now. And then they'll drop down into the mines, and unless Dissent wins the big team fight before then, the Golem is just kind of going to end the game. I don't know what else Dissent can do here. They just have to pray for a good team fight.
We'll have to see how it goes. Now, let's go back to the first fight where they were wanting to save their fort, where they blew Odin and Archon. Do you think that was the right choice in that specific instance? I know they wanted to save it, but...
Yeah, I don't really think so. I mean, you're kind of disrespecting Glorious if you do that, because it's very obvious that they can do just what they did. Like, they know Dissent can't fight without heroics, especially when they're down levels. So it's really easy to just go in and clean it up afterwards, especially because they had already burned the mule. Jackie actually dropped the mule. I think it was Jackie who messaged. Actually dropped the mule, like, as the Golem was hitting it, so the mule died. It was on cooldown. There was no way they could heal it up immediately. So, yeah, maybe a bit of a blunder from them there. I think keep is guaranteed to die no matter what. It would have been better if they could try and get a team fight when Glorious overextended towards the palace. And Glorious is actually just giving up the big golem. It looks like they're going to go for a back door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dISSENT knows they're backing, but I don't know if it's going to be too late. Okay, they are going to be there, so it's going to come down to a team fight here. And they're not even 16 yet, so they still don't have that important talent level. See if they can get it off the creeps before the fight happens.
Looks like there's 2 catapults here and 4 giants. Will they be able to hold? Will they be able to defend this? Dunk Train trying to just absorb as much damage as possible, delay this. Here comes the Odin, here comes the Archon. They're going in, they want to clear up these giants, and Glorious is just backing off again. You know, they know that they require these heroics for priority damage, and they just gotta wait it out, and they can push again with knights.
dISSENT is really, really bad about like coordinating their heroics and timing. Like the Barb has to be the first one to go in. She has to call it. They have to APOC immediately, and then while they're stunned, that's when you go in. You have Odin and Archon anyway. But it looks like team fight's gonna happen anyway, and Odin and Archon are both down.
Yeah, there goes the Apocalypse. Supra is kind of low. He's trying to heal himself up. There goes the Strafe from Syracuse, doing a lot of damage. 2 members of dISSENT stuck in that void prison, and they're going to get immediately evaporated. It is now a 5 versus 2. There have been 12 kills for Glorious. There have been 0s for dISSENT, and I don't think they're going to be able to hold this palace.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just dISSENT. Really, I think they know how important the heroics are. They're just not careful enough with them. Like they absolutely cannot fight without them, but they popped it too early every time. You got to wait to be engaged. You have to know that you're actually going to be able to get the full value out of them. And Glorious, they just kind of, they realized that, they recognized that, they did it very well, they disengaged properly pretty much every time, and then immediately turned around. Like, they knew as soon as those heroics are down, it doesn't really matter, you don't have to go back and get caps or use the time some other way, you can just fight as soon as they're gone. They did that really well pretty much every time.
It was very well played by Glorious, a very fun game. Where do you think this, I mean, we saw a few little just misengagements by dISSENT. Do you think a major part of, like we talked about in the beginning, you know, the Rhaegar pick would have been better. Do you think that would have had much of an impact here, or does it just need to be a little bit more organized with their team fights mainly?
The big thing was definitely the lack of coordination, but Rhaegar does make it a little bit easier because it's pretty hard to run when everyone's speed boosted. But they had the Zera, that was going to be their plan. They had the Zera tool to avoid prison and use that for the disengage, regardless of if they have Rhaegar or whatever. Like they used it that way anyway. That's definitely what they would have done if they had the Rhaegar. I feel like Glorious, you know, they just executed their team fights better. I think it still would have worked better, but just from a drafting perspective, giving up the Rhaegar, or not taking Rhaegar when he's uncontested, when you already have Tychus and Tassadar is kind of strange.
It was a really fun game to watch.